We're here with head coach Buddy Teevens of the football team. After a tough week at Sacred Heart, one of the few times in the last few years we've had to sit here and talk about a loss, but you jumped out to the quick lead, had 3 scores in about 4 minutes of game time in the first quarter, and it looks like it's going to be an easy win, but at the same time, maybe there's a sense of complacency that sits on the team. How do you coach against complacency when you have those quick scores like that?
Well, it's a good observation. It's a tough question to answer. You have a lot of guys that have never been there before on a team that has had a lot of success, and against these guys, a fair amount of success. So it was almost natural. They said, okay, hey, this is going to be another roll through the park. And they were a better team than we have played against in the past. They were a championship team last year. They were a FCS playoff team as well. They were a senior-dominated team, very physical, and very athletic, and it was challenging. We did a nice job offensively the better part of the game and put up 500 yards of offense, but we couldn't keep them off the field. They completed a lot of passes, not for a whole lot of yards, but it was consistently moving the ball down the field.
Yeah, you mentioned it was not a whole lot of yards. The defense is a lot of times predicated on not giving up those big plays, and there were only 3 plays of more than 15 yards the entire game by Sacred Heart, and one of those was a punt return that really actually kind of turned a tide at that point, it seemed like.
Yeah, no, it's the bend but don't break mindset. The one thing that we didn't do as effectively as we have in the past, we didn't tackle well. And again, a lot of new faces, first-time guys. Their quarterback, the design was to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and they did so with a lot of behind the line of scrimmage throws, screens. And we just didn't rally. We didn't disengage from downfield blockers. The receivers were very, very capable in that regard, but we get stuck on blocks, and all of a sudden a minus 2-yard catch ends up a 14-yard pickup or a 12-yard pickup, and they just kept it going. What you do is kind of remove an interior guy to help on the perimeter, but their running back was also a very, very capable player. So you kind of playing both ends against the middle, and we just did not do it as effectively. Yet we still had opportunities, but that's the frustration of a loss.
Offensively, you mentioned over 500 yards of offense, and nearly 400 of that was on the ground. Nick Howard with 186 rushing yards, a career high, and then the emergence of Q Jones, really showing what he could do, 158 yards on just 12 carries.
Yeah, he's electric, and he gets better the more he plays. He just sees things. He's just very, very fluid. Compliments Zach Baer very, very effectively. Noah Roper was out for the game. He'll be back this weekend. But then those 3 guys, they do a lot of different things. It's hard for a team to prepare for just the variety of running backs that we can put out in the field.
All right, Coach, this week you've got Penn coming into town. Friday night game, ESPNU national broadcast, and it's against a Penn team that you've had some recent success against, won 6 of the last 7 games. And what can you expect from this team going in?
Well, they've got a new offensive coordinator, and they're opening the offense up. They've done a real good job in the first 2 ball games. They're undefeated right now, so they're coming in with a lot of confidence. They're an older football team, some maturity in the offensive fronts and the defensive lines, some very, very talented players. It's going to be a tough ball game. What we need to do is play team football. We have allowed in consistent consecutive games big returns, a kickoff return, a punt return, and that has kind of swung the tide a little bit. And in terms of momentum and emotion and enthusiasm, we're going to do a great job in special teams. The mindset of, hey, bend but don't break, and then patience and consistency from an offensive standpoint.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck against the Quakers this week, and we'll see you Friday night on ESPNU.